What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Meal Prepping. Today we're going to make something a little bit different. Some shredded pork rice bowls. Now, I've never made them before, but today you and we're going to make them together. Are you ready to do this? Let's get started. Alright, so I went to Costco and I bought some pork tenderloins, okay? Now, normally with any time you do like a shredded pork, you probably use like a pork shoulder, or you use the pork belly or the butt, whatever you want to use. And those are going to be a lot higher in fat. But the pork tenderloins is pretty similar to like your chicken breast, a very lean meat, okay? Now, you see all this fat around here? I'm going to cut all that off. So we're going to even reduce the amount of fat that's in this, okay? Now this whole thing is almost 7 pounds of pork. Now I paid 20 bucks for this at Costco. I'm only going to use about half of this and then I'll freeze the rest of it. So that's one thing about meal prepping. If you buy in bulk, then you can really save money even more. It's going to be A, cheaper, and then B, I can split this up and use it later on. So I'm only going to use half of this. So I have my scale here. I'm going to measure it out. Let's go ahead and open this up. So I saved a couple extra dollars because I got bone-in pork tenderloin. When it goes in the crock pot, it's gonna fall off the bone anyway. This is really easy, and it saved me a couple of dollars extra. So that's roughly 3.5 pounds, all right? The rest of it, we're gonna go ahead and bag it up for next time. All right, I'm gonna go wash my hands and I'll seal this up. All right, that's all in the freezer. So next time I go to meal prep, I already have 3.5 pounds of meat, and that's 10 bucks right there. So anytime that I cook meat, chicken, pork, steak, I always want to cut the extra fat off. Normally, back in the old days, I would leave that on it because it just enhanced the flavor so much. But today we enhance with seasonings, not with fat. All right, let's go ahead and cut this up. So the goal is to get as much fat off as you can. You're not going to get every single thing off, but again, try to make it as lean as possible. And yes, Mom, I know I'm cutting too much of the meat off. And today I'm going to be cooking everything in the crock pot. So let's go ahead and throw that in there. All right, so I finished trimming all the fat off the pork and I put it in the crock pot. Now let's go ahead and put together the marinade. Now let's look at what I'm going to be using today to put it together. So we have 1 teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt, 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, a half a cup of reduced sodium soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of hoisin sauce, 3 tablespoons of agave. I'm going to be using roughly 1 tablespoon of fresh ginger, 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I have about 5 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna use the juice of 1 lime, and I have a jalapeno. We're cooking in the kitchen, yeah. Cooking in the kitchen, yeah. So I'm using red pepper flakes and jalapeno. So if you don't want this as spicy, you can leave this out. You can take some of the seeds out. We're gonna keep it mildly hot, so I'm gonna leave some seeds in, and we're gonna use this as well. All right, let's get to it. All right, so when I was looking for hoisin sauce, I had to look in a few different stores to find this brand, which is Polar. It has pretty good macros. It only has about 260 milligrams per tablespoon of sodium. A lot of different brands that were like over 1,000 milligrams of sodium for 1 tablespoon. I mean, that's ridiculous. By the time I make this dish, it'll be low fat, low in carbs, but I'll be having a stroke from all the salt. So really pay attention to your salt intake as well. I searched for this. You probably can get other ones as well. Polar hoisin sauce. I think I saying it right. Don't worry about me. I'm from Jersey. I don't say everything correctly all the time. Speaking of Jersey, if you didn't see the last video, you can check it right here, and I'll also put a link below. I went back home to New Jersey and I meal prep with my family. So you get to see how I am with my family. I am the same cornball as I am here, as I was there, and you can see where I get it from as well. So go check that video out. It was massive. We were grilling up a storm, plenty of food, try some new things for the first time. Go check it out. All right, let's get to the agave. I need to clean up my area. Let me move some of the stuff away, get a cutting board, and we'll finish up the marinade. All right, let's clean up a little bit. All right, so I cleaned up a little bit, straightened up, removed some things from the counter, made it a lot easier to prep. Like my mama always said, make sure your space is clean. So mama, it's clean. All right, let's get started with garlic. Love ginger. It has so many good medicinal properties to it. Is that the word, medicinal? Yeah, good healthy properties to it. Here, I'll link some below right here so you can check it out. Make sure you include fresh ginger in your food and your cooking. You can also put it in your smoothies and different things like that. Fresh ginger is gonna be really good for you. All right, let's chop it up. Always roll your lime first. Helps to release all the juices. I think I picked too small of a bowl almost. All right, time to whisk. Do you like my little miniature whisk? I do. Got it from IKEA. It's like $2 or something. Let's do this really gently so we make sure that it doesn't spill out. All right, so the marinade's all done. Let's go ahead and pour it over the pork and then set it and quit it. All right, set it and forget it. Oh, whoop! Get all that in there. You don't want to leave any of that in the bowl. All that deliciousness. All right, let's go ahead and set this. Put it on low for 6 to 8 hours. I'll put it on 8. I'll come back and check it when it's here on 2. All right, let's clean up a little bit and I'll be right back. All right, what's a rice bowl without rice? So I have 3 cups of brown rice in there. I'm not adding any salt because everything else I have is pretty high in salt. So let's go ahead and close that up, turn it on, hit the brown rice button, hit start again. Now that's going. So everything's cleaned up. I put the crock pot over there on the other counter so it can cook. Now, like I said, I'm using a pork tenderloin cut of meat. So with that type of meat, since it's leaner, it's not as fatty, you have to cook it low and slow. So that's the reason for the cooking it on low for 6 to 8 hours, okay? Now, some of the fixings, okay. I'm not from the South, but I talk like it sometimes. So I'm gonna top the rice bowl with some purple cabbage, some red bell pepper, we have some cilantro, I have cucumber, carrot, and radishes. So with the carrot and radishes, I'm gonna go ahead and do what we call a quick pickle. So I have right here a half a cup of vinegar and a half a cup of water. I'm gonna add that to my pan. I'm gonna use 1 teaspoon of salt. So that's a half. I don't know why I didn't grab the other one, but whatever. A lot of recipes call for like table sugar, probably like a 1/4 of a cup. Now, that's gonna be a lot higher in sugar than I'm willing to use. Agave is way more sweeter than your actual table sugar, so you can use less of it. And like I said, always, it's low on the glycemic index, so it's not gonna spike your insulin as quickly as table sugar would. So we're gonna use 1/8 of a cup. Now, if you didn't have agave, you could use honey. I love honey. We'll just use 1/8 of a cup. I'm gonna put this on the stove, bring it to a boil, and then let it simmer for 10 minutes. All right, so while that's on the stove, let's go ahead and cut up the radishes and the carrots. So I've already peeled them. Just cut off the ends. Now you could buy the carrots already pre-cut up, the ones that look like a matchstick. I'm just gonna take a regular peeler and just shave them. So my carrots are getting shaved. All done. What do you do with this? You eat it. Now these are pretty simple. You cut them like matchsticks again, or I have what is called as a mandolin. I think that's what it's called. And I'm using the thin slice side. Now be careful, you have this to use on top so you don't cut your hands, but I'm okay for a little bit. And just slide like that. And just slow down when you get to the end. And they come out relatively thin. We've already done all the radishes and the carrots. Let's go ahead and do the cucumber. I'm gonna use the same mandolin, cut the ends off. So these are organic cucumbers, so I'm gonna leave the skin on. All right, let's go ahead and use the mandolin. All right, woo! So the vinegar is done simmering for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it over the radishes and the carrots. Ooh, I got a whiff of that vinegar. That was a little too strong, but it's gonna be good over here. All right. I think I poured some more. So everything's pretty much done. We're just waiting on the crock pot. I think it has, yeah, still another 6 hours, but I went ahead and finished the brown rice is done. We have the radishes and carrots pickling. So the longer that sets, the better. I chopped up all the red cabbage. We have some finely diced or sliced red pepper and some sliced cucumber as well. This is gonna be a really light meal. I'm using a lot of fresh ingredients. Nothing's been really cooked except for the rice and the pork. Everything else is gonna be on top. And then we can also top it off with some cilantro. You can do a variety of different toppings if you want. This is just what I'm doing this time. If I made this probably, a couple weeks from now, I'd probably do it different. I might saute the cabbage, saute the peppers, and I might do onions and cook the carrots. You could even add one of those, the eggs that you cook and you hit it and the yolk runs all over it. I don't know what it's called. I don't eat those personally, but this would be one of those meals that would really probably lend to one of those runny eggs. So you could try one of those. Mix it up. Today, this is what we're doing. So I'll check back with you in about 6 hours and we'll put this together. All right? I think it's gonna taste good. Let's try it. One of the keys to meal prepping is, to try different things. So this is my first time making this pork rice bowl. Hopefully I like it. I think I will. I like a lot of the ingredients that we're combining together, but you have to experiment. If I kept eating the same thing week after week, day after day, I guarantee you I would find the biggest Big Mac, probably not a Big Mac, but maybe a Five Guys double bacon cheeseburger loaded. Probably not even that, because I will find something to eat. It will be good, but I have to make it, I have to keep it interesting. So every week I try to do something different. I do something different for my dinner and something different for my lunch. So if you want to see part 2, I'm going to be doing chicken burritos. Now I'm going to make a bunch of these because I'm going to be traveling soon. And when my son's coming back home, I have to have a lot of food in there, in the house for him to eat, so he doesn't, gravitate to, Mom, can I have some money so I can go get some Oreos? Or 8 hours later. Okay, pork is done. Let's take it off and let's see what we got going on here. Whew. That smells good. That looks good. Look at that, falling right off the bone. Don't even have to cut it off or anything. Look how easy this breaks up. I'm not even pulling it apart. I'm just kind of mashing it down and it's just falling off. That's good. That is good. All right, so I shredded all the pork, took it out the crock pot, drained it of the juice. It is darn good. Man, I ate this. Woo! I had to, taste it a little bit, took another bite, I had to stop myself because it is 11:30 at night. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put one together fully so you can see what one looks like. But then when I package the rest of them, I'm gonna put the vegetables in a container like this, and then the rice and the meat in a container like this, or whatever else I got laying around. All right, so I'm gonna do a half a cup of rice. I'm gonna do roughly about 3 to 4 ounces of meat, maybe a little bit more. We'll see how it looks. Okay, that's 4 ounces. So I pickled the radishes and the carrots. Oh my goodness, they came out great. Let's put a couple of those. This looks bomb. Do people still say bomb anymore? No? Some red slivers of red pepper. Let's get some red cabbage in there. And some fresh cucumber slices. So that's your pork rice ball. I'm gonna tell you, this looks insane and it tastes insane. I need a fork. I gotta find a fork. Be right back. Full bite together. Let's get some of the carrot, radish, a little bit of the rice. That's good. I'm not gonna eat anymore. It's 11:30 at night, but I'll go ahead and package a couple more out. All right, so I finished putting together all the meals. I have the rice and pork separate, and then I have the vegetables by themselves as well, so I can just carry one container to work or take one out the refrigerator for dinner, or however you want to do it. But here's the finished one. Like we said before, it looks amazing and it tastes amazing. It looks amazing and tastes amazing. So refreshing. Those pickled radishes and pickled carrots, woo, great. I didn't even have to use table sugar. I just used some agave, a little salt, and that was it. I wound up making a little bit more radishes and carrots than I thought, so I went back and I added another half a cup of vinegar, another half a cup of water, another tablespoon of agave. Boiled it, threw it over, great. I let this probably set in the vinegar mixture for about an hour, a little bit longer than a quick pickle, but I had plenty of time, so it didn't matter. So that's all I got, folks. I hope you enjoyed this segment. This is something totally different. Never did this before. Never have eaten this before, but it tastes amazing. So you should really try this one. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like that, then go ahead and subscribe. Now, when you subscribe, make sure you hit that little bell notification so that you can be notified every time I upload. Otherwise, you may miss something, and that'd be another meal that you could have tried. If you have any suggestions, please comment below. I would love to hear from you. Someone said to me they want to see some fish meals, maybe some salmon. So when I come back from my trip, I might be just doing some salmon meal prep as well. All right, if you know anyone who might like this, go ahead and share this video out. Go ahead, push it out to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Tell the world. I don't care. I really would appreciate it though. Okay. I'm done. But remember, folks, always stay focused, stay positive, and keep it moving. Good day, everybody. I'm going to bed.